What's up, boys? Callsign Grimey here. Back in 1997, one game defined the stealth fighter experience. Now in 2026, digital image design is back to reclaim the throne. We're stepping into the cockpit of the remastered F-22 air dominance fighter to see if this 90s legend still has what it takes to dominate the modern sky. Now, this isn't just some lazy port. We're talking 4K resolution, native widescreen, a full 6 degrees of field head tracking. It's the perfect glide core aesthetic updated for today's hardware. But the real question is, does the flight model and the iconic AWACS command mode still hold up? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share with you a brief walkthrough as well as my initial impressions of what it feels like to fly in this new old sim. Let's jump into it. All right, so here we are on the homepage for F-22 Air Dominance Fighter. This is what it looks like when you open up and launch the game. And real quick here, full disclaimer that while Microprose, the publisher, and the developer DID are not sponsoring this video, they did provide me with a key for me to get the game and play it, fly it, and experience it, and share my honest, open thoughts with you guys, which is what this video is about. So they have no input on any of this, and they're going to see it at the same time you guys are seeing it when I post it on the channel. Diving into the options here, you're going to have your global options here for your screen resolution. You have your difficulty settings up here, easy, medium, hard. You got your effects, game detail options down here. You got your sound options as well. You can pick a camouflage for your aircraft type over here. And then most importantly, our map controls. Now, I'm actually redoing this section of the video because when I initially did this, they didn't have all of these options. They actually added everything underneath air-to-air weapon cycle has been recently added in a recent update, which is good. And I think that this is going to be great. Obviously, the original game was primarily played on keyboard. But here we are in 2026. Most folks are going to have some kind of either controller or HOTAS system, especially if they're coming off of like a DCS sim. So why not allow them to utilize their HOTASs in there? So what I do want to point out here is a couple of things that I think need to also be adjusted. One is that the throttle throw is off. What I mean by that is when I have my throttle at what would normally be 0% on DCS, it sits at 51% throttle in the actual sim when you're flying it. So there's some kind of disparity there that I think needs to be resolved. I don't know what the core of that is. The other thing too, which I'd like to see them update here, is when you click into, let's say, bind a key. In most cases, in every other game for the most part you play, when you go to keybind something, you would click into the field, like for example here, and then I'd hit the button, and it would automatically detect that button and it would assign it here. But that doesn't happen with the mapping in this one. You actually have to know what button is on your HOTAS or your controller in order for this to be selected. So it took me a little bit long to do this because I had to open up my verbal control stuff and look up what buttons it was. It took unnecessarily longer than it needed to be. So that's a little quality of life that I like to see improved here, as well as the expansion maybe of a couple more things. But that's what this is going to look like right here. For the most part, your throttle, your sticks, your rudders are all going to bind very, very easily. You can see stuff moving right here. Here's the throttle, got the stick, everything for the most part worked out pretty well. And so you have a lot of options here to kind of get you through the core elements of what you're going to do here. There may not be necessarily more options needed for the mapping. I do think that there may be some more opportunities to expand on the cameras and like the kind of views you can capture, especially for content creators, so that we can get external views of flybys, not just flybys because they do have that, but just more controls. Like for me, I like to use the F4 keybind in DCS to get those outside cinematic shots, being able to move the camera, behind the pylon or by the gears when they're coming down to capture those. I think that'd be cool to have the opportunity to have just more camera movements. And so maybe that'd be an area where they can expand the mapping so that you can kind of bind those on your controls. All right, needless to say, that covers the initial setup. Let's go ahead and dive into some more. Now that we're out of the options here, if you are lost at any point in playing this game, just come to the help menu here. It'll get a pop-up with all of the information you're going to need to know, especially with key controls here. So you'll look, and there's a lot of stuff that's bound to your keyboard, as this game was essentially, that's how it was made back in the day, and you flew it primarily with the keyboard, all the keys and knowing all that stuff here. So you can scroll down here and see, kind of what is tied to what. So for example, you want your autopilot on or off, well, that's the A key. Your MCOM menus, so on and so forth. So everything is in here. You're probably going to want to spend some time looking through it. I'm going to admit to you right now that I haven't, because it's a lot to take in. But this is something that you'll kind of develop after you keep playing it over and over and over again. You'll develop those muscle memory skills there to know what you're trying to do and what keys you need to hit. And again, as I mentioned before, this would be nice to have an option to bind some of these to your HOTAS. For sure. All right, now that we covered the basics here, let's talk about what options we have here on the home screen to dive into F-22. First, you have quick combat. This is going to give us that arcade-like experience where you're going to fly around, your munitions replenish after, set amount of time. You're going to rack up points for blowing up stuff, killing stuff, and all of that. So if you want more of a chill arcade vibe gameplay, this is where you're going to want to go. Multiplayer, pretty self-explanatory. F-22 demos there. Credits. Now let's talk about these three up here. These are going to be more of where, for those of you that look for more of a simulation experience, more of a realistic experience, if you will, are going to want to dive into. So first, we're going to cover simulator. We're going to come in here first to learn how to fly in this game here. So you'll see you have 6 different options here, from flight training, weapons training, air-to-air, free flight, wingman, and AWACS missions. And you'll also see here that we can learn how to take off, landing, refueling, engine failure, hydraulic failure, electric failure. If you go to weapons training, same thing. You're going to learn about your BVR AMRAM, dogfighting sidewinders, Maverick mobile attack, cannon strife for CAS. So there's a lot to dive into here to learn and develop those skills, because this is going to be very different from DCS, which is what I primarily fly, and most of you that watch my channel are primarily flying, I suppose. But for a totally different experience here, this is where we're going to dive into, spend some time flying through these to kind of learn how this gameplay works. Another cool thing about this game is that you can actually play it from the perspective of being the AWACS and kind of like a command and control from the air. So as you'll see here, and we'll kind of zoom in a little bit, I guess a little closer here. And you'll see that we have our assets are in the green. So we have a bunch of different aircraft here. For example, Wolf right here is patrolling. So we can assign them to intercept. So there's an enemy right here. It's a high threat. So we're going to left click, drag over. All right. All right. And so you'll see here, we can see what's going on with our friendly aircraft here. The aircraft itself, what it's doing, which is going to be a third line down, says intercepting, speed, position, heading, and the task at hand, which is cap for this aircraft. If I come over here and we look at this unit right here, you can see that they're on a Wild Weasel mission, aircraft denial mission. These are EF-2000s. There's a set of them right here. So looks like they're already kind of doing their own thing. You can redirect and do stuff and get aircraft to do like CAS missions and so on and so forth. So for another example here, we've got some friendly F-22s right here. They are AWACS patrol escorts. We also have a refuel patrol escort. I think we also have JSR's patrol. And we've got another JSF duo here for cap. So I'll click on them and I'll drag. I'm going to intercept these MiG-31s.
Striker 1, Magic 1, Victor Northwest, engage MiG-31, banded at 3004201, fast, Angel 40, heading south.
All right, now we're going to take a look back here. And with this box that we have here on the left side, we can kind of see what our aircraft are doing, as well as the enemy. Actually, you can see them right here. I don't know if they're going defensive or whatnot. But we can see that right now the F-22s that we sent to intercept these Su-37s are currently in a dogfighting. So that third line down is going to be the active activity, whatever that aircraft is doing at the moment, at least for the friendlies. It'll tell you what they're doing. So they're dogfighting right now. We kind of keep an eye on them, it looks like, potentially. We keep an eye here on the enemy. We'll see how this turns out. We'll get a status update. And then up here, you got your controls. So there's a bunch of different things we can do. We can put it in the 3D mode and kind of get a perspective of everything here in a 3D plane. So we can use the shift and the left and right mouse buttons to manipulate the 3D plane here to kind of see what's going on. And it gives us a better visual representation, because clearly we can see that these enemies that we sent on this these enemies that we sent our aircraft after to intercept are It's way up high, so our guys are coming in at a lower altitude. See how that turns out for them. We could put a scale on this. Click off of 3D here. You put a scale at the bottom there. You can get some more representation of the forward. I forget what FIBA stands for, but I believe it just outlines kind of like the front lines, I believe. Bunch of different other things here. You can see air defenses here, so you want to drag. Actually, probably be careful because we got our friendlies are going to drag right over the SAM site right here, so this might not be good for us. So you can kind of see what's going on there.
Bracket left.
Let's see what's happening here. They seems like they are still going at it. Not sure what's going to do with our guys here. You can see routes, right? So you can kind of see, at least for some of our aircraft, they have waypoints already designated for themselves. Let's see. Can we see what's happening here? Still dogfighting. We go to the info box, and then you can select the various branches. So you can see Navy assets on the ground. You can see the Army assets, Air Force assets are there, and of course you can pause, time warp, center, everything here. So you know, quite a few things you can kind of go through. We can actually look at the ground targets here. We can see the SAM site. We can click back on our friendly. There we go. And we've got all the information here in the bottom left on the left side here with all of the important information for our aircraft here. So if we see them, you know, getting low on fuel, we can go ahead and click and drag them to refuel, call them off. So they've took out one enemy right there. So yeah, this is a cool different perspective of playing the game for those that want to just kind of do high level management. Coming back out to the home screen, for those that are looking for a more campaign like experience, well, you have tour duty. This is where you're going to come to fly more campaign style missions that are kind of ongoing. You have to progress through them and so on and so forth. So you have different kind of tour selections here as I'm scrolling through: Saudi tour, Egyptian tour, Ethiopian, Yemen. And it looks like you have to complete one before you can access the next. So you do have to progress through it and kind of put in that time to advance. And so, for example, here it gives us the default is the Red Sea tour. And then within that, we have the various missions, and you can see that they are locked, meaning you're going to have to complete the mission prior to unlock the next one. And so it's going to make you have to, you know, earn it. And I kind of like that, right? It allows me to accomplish the mission and then take on the next one and keep on going and so forth, so on and so forth. So you'll see as I scroll down here, you have Strike Sudan, SAMs, Fighters, Air Egypt, Threat Kill, Raid Egypt. So quite a few different options here. And again, you have various tours: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 total tours. And if we look at the missions here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, you know, if there's at least 10, let's say, if there's 10 per, that's cool. That's a lot of missions to go through. There's quite a bit of content here, which right out of the bat looks pretty good. Now, don't know how long it's going to take you to complete each one. However, that's quite a bit of content to go through, so I do appreciate that. All right, and then coming back out to the homepage, and the final option here is ACMI. And if we click into the help and we'll go to ACMI, essentially this is the Air Combat Maneuvers Instrumentation. My belief here is that this is very much similar to a TAC view, and I'll click into the actual documentation here for the ACMI. And so if you want to see, you know, how you flew, what you were doing, what's going on here, this is where you're going to do that. And you'll click in and you'll select those track files, you'll load them in, and it'll give you a replay. So that's pretty cool there to kind of really allow you to see what it is you're doing, how that dogfight went, why you lost, did you turn bad, you know, all that kind of positioning information that you'd want to know post-flight to kind of see how you can elevate your game and all that. All right, so now that I showed you some of the basics here with the game, let me dive into the tour of duty, which is essentially the campaign for this game. And we're going to select this Eritrea tour, and the first mission within it is going to be deny flight. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm still learning a lot of this stuff, and I don't even have the controls down pat just yet. And I'm still running some buggy issues with like the lantern flare and all that stuff. That being said, we should be fine for air to air. And this is essentially a CAP mission here. Let's see what the brief here is. Some years ago, Eritrea split from the old country of Ethiopia. Animosity remained and has been aggravated by landlocked Ethiopia's total lack of success in gaining access to the sea through the port of Aseb in southern Eritrea, etc., etc., etc. Okay, here. Our mission is to fly U.S. cap with your wingman, preventing any Ethiopian aircraft from violating Eritrean airspace. Our objectives are going to be to land at Jazan. We need to take out 1, 2, 3, 4 different aircraft here. There's 2 Su-25s, a MiG-21, and a Mirage. And of course, we need to be alive. We'll take a look at the map. It gives us a flight plan here. So we'll take off at, we should start at waypoint 1. We'll do cap at around waypoint 2, then to 3, and then cross over, land at waypoint 4. Pretty straightforward mission here. And let's dive into it. Let's take a look here. Where's my wingman? Wingman's right there. I'm going to stay in. I'll pull up my controls. I'm going to stay
MCON manual 1.
and MCON manual 1. This gives us the best amount of stealth here. And we're just cruising. We've got 6 AIM-120s on board. We've got 2 AIM-120Rs. That's going to be useful for long range engagements here, which I still haven't got down just yet, but what else do we have here? And our guns. Also we got some 6 AIM-9Xs on board. So we got quite a bit of armament. And that's just on my aircraft. Our wingman has some more stuff as well. All right. So we're going to cruise right now. I'm going to pull up, hit the 0 key. We're going to go to autopilot.
Autopilot engaged.
Going to throw in an autopilot for right now. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it just yet, it's pretty important to have a full-size keyboard. I have a, was it the 70% size? It doesn't have the additional like number pad and all that stuff. I do have a standalone number pad that I've had that I'm using currently. So if you have like a mini keyboard or a 70% keyboard, it's going to be quite a bit trickier to utilize all the buttons you're going to need, the keys that you're going to need to do some of the stuff. Like for example, pushing the 0 on the keypad brings up your this display. If I hit 1, it brings up this, 2, 3, this is 4, 5, and 6. So we can cycle through essentially our whole entire, there's no mouse here on the display, but essentially all those keys allow us to access each of the screens here. One's going to be our nav, one's going to be our RWR essentially, one's going to be what's going to allow us to select targets. So
This is Magic 1, vector south, designated bogey at 19547 slow, danger 4, heading northeast.
all right, we got a call out from AWACS. Looks like we can see.
This is Magic 1, vector south, designated bogey at 19546 slow, danger 4, heading northeast.
There's a Mirage, there's our MiG, there's our other MiG. These are going to be the ones we're going to have to intercept here.
This is Magic 1, vector south, designated bogey at 20046 slow, danger 7, heading northeast.
Yeah, they're on an intercept course, it looks like here. So I think we'll go ahead and take off the autopilot.
Autopilot disengaged. This is Magic 1, vector south, designated bogey at 200. Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
All right. Still away. Oh, there they are, right in front of us.
Magic 1, vector south, engage MiG-21, bandit at 20047.
We're going to give him the engage.
Heading northeast. Engage bandit. 1, 2, bogey, MiG-21, 2, 0, 0, for 4, 1, low. 1, this is Magic 1, vector south, designated bogey at 17545, slow, danger 1, 0, heading north. 2, engaging.
We're going to take off our.
Advise. Engage switch MCON to auto. Shoot. MCON auto 4. Danger 7. Heading northeast. 1. This is Magic 1. Vector south. Designated bogey at 175.
There we go.
1,
We're almost within range of the next aircraft.
Pocket 3. Shoot! Vector south. Engage MiG-21. Bandit at 20026. Slow. Danger 10. Heading north. Wolf 1. Lead. Splash 1.
Got one down.
1. Lead. Splash 2.
There's two down.
Wolf 1. Magic 1. Vector southwest. Engage MiG-21. Bandit at 205 for 1 minor. Slow. Danger 1. Heading northwest. Pocket 3. Pocket 3. Wolf. Shoot! Vector south. Engage 225. Bandit at 200 for 17.
There's one down. See him explode.
Heading east. Wolf 1, 2, splash 3. Pocket 3.
See if we get contact here.
Wolf 1, this is Magic 1. Vector southwest. MCON auto 5. MCON
With a splash right there.
Slow. Danger 0. Heading east.
All right, we got more bogeys out in our 12.
Splash 4.
Mirage is out here.
Magic 1. Vector southeast. Shoot! Bandit at 135.
A bunch of them.
Slow. Danger 10. Heading north.
Let me pull these guys back here.
2. Splash 5. Wolf 1. Magic 1. Vector southeast. Engage Mirage. Bandit at 115 for 1.
We got the AWACS yelling at us. We got a lot going on here.
5. Heading northeast. Wolf 1. Go deuce. Loose.
And it's a little splash.
Shoot! Magic 1. Vector east. Engage 225. Bandit at 105.
We'll launch on that guy right there. Ah, he's down.
6. Heading north. Wolf 1. Lead. Splash 6. 2. Wolf 1. Magic 1. Vector east. Engage.
Got some more targets here.
Bandit at 105 for 2.
Got one more AIM 12 here.
Danger 6. Heading north. Wolf. Shoot! Bogey. 25. 0. 5 for 3. Low.
All right.
1, 2, splash 7.
So we get that bogey right there. Good splash.
Splash 8.
All right, I'm down to my. I thought I had my. I guess I went through those AMRAMs pretty quick there. All right. Let's see if we get any more call outs here. Let's go back to
Autopilot engaged.
our waypoint. Still see we got more bogeys out here. Mirage, they're sweeping. Doesn't look like they're gonna come engage with us. These are These yellow means they're unidentified. We don't know what they are, friendly or foe. I'm assuming that these are going head on. Maybe they're not sure, but maybe I think the only thing we need to take out is a Mirage. From what I remember, they're behind us. So I mean, even if we don't complete all the objectives, the point of doing this mission is to kind of just show you how this looks. And you know, while I'm flying, it is completely different experience from DCS. And while graphically, if I can show you like the external cockpit, I still don't know all the keys here to kind of look outside the cockpit. It doesn't have quite the same robust camera system as DCS, but graphically, there's a call out.
Engage Mirage. Bandit at 220 for 6 minor. Slow. Danger 1. Heading north.
Even though graphically you can tell it's trying to get outside again, you know, it is harking back to the original days from when this game was released, which I've never played before, but believe it or not, the gameplay itself is enjoyable. I mean, the essence of this sim is there, if that makes sense, right? Like the techniques you're gonna have to do, the stuff you're gonna have to do and stuff. So I've actually been enjoying flying in here and learning as I go, and it's been a little painful. And of course, you know, I've been running into little things that either I'm not aware how to do it properly, or possibly could be a little buggy here and there. But that aside, I've still been enjoying the gameplay, and it is a very different experience from DCS, and I mean that in a good way, by the way. And especially when you have a fairly robust campaign system. So for those of you that are big into single player missions, single player gameplay, I think you'll enjoy this. And there's enough content in there, and the AI, you can select 3 different difficulty settings. You pick the higher stuff, it's going to be tougher for sure. All right, now I will say I think the AWACS callouts is a little annoying. It's too frequent. I'd like to see that tamed down a little bit. All right, we finally can kind of get a target list together. We're about 44 miles out. I'm gonna pick up the thrust here. I'm just kind of waiting to get inside the confines here. The AWACS is definitely super annoying. Should be getting a shot call here any moment. Oops, shot prematurely, but we'll get our wingman here and get going.
Shoot!
There's a call. Cycle through the next one. And we'll get the wingman involved here. Oh, he dodged it. Good splash. And there we go. See ya. Good kills. I think, wait, somebody's still behind us?
Warning, radar lock.
I'm not sure who locked us here. I thought we killed both of them. Was there a third? I think we merged. Looks like somebody's still on the... There he is, down. Alright.
Warning, radar lock.
Oh, he's down. Looks like you missed him.
Shoot!
Took a shot there.
Warning,
He dodged it.
radar lock.
Shit. I think there's 2 back here. I lost him. Oh, shit. Where's he at? Still on me? No, he's it looks like he merged with my wingman. Where are they at? Nope, he's down. Alright, wingman got him. Alright, about 16 miles out here. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a direct approach.
Request straight in approach. Autopilot disengaged.
There it is over there. And try to do the landing. I have 2 options here. We could either throw it into autopilot for the landing, or we could do it manually here. And like I said, this is it flies a bit differently from what I'm used to in DCS, so this might be ugly, or in fact, it could be terrible. Still learning, getting a feel for the flight dynamics and stuff. Like I said, it's different. We'll pull up here. One thing I hope they'll make some adjustments to is being able to adjust the throttle range right now, because I've got my throttle maybe a third of the way and it's already ripping at like 85%. I'm dropping it all the way down, and all the way down, what would be 0% in DCS, it sits at 50%. So something there needs to be kind of adjusted. We're going to turn in here for our landing. And I'm going to have to burn off some speed here, as well as put my brakes out. right.
Gear is down. Gear stop.
Gears out. It does give you the little rings here. I'm not sure if that's something... I don't remember seeing
Gear
that.
is up.
Nope, gears are up because I'm going too fast. And I've got my throttle all the way down. This is what makes this difficult for landing here, because my throttle's all the way down and it should be at 0%, but it still rides at 51%.
Gear is down. Gear stop.
So we'll see how this plays out here. Trying to keep this speed in the sweet spot for a landing. Like I said, at the 170 should be all right. All right. Let me just get my angle descent here. Still setting at 174 for airspeed. Looks decent. Up a little low here. My AOA is off, I believe. All right, I'll try to catch it from right here. Right it in. Is that my wingman out in my 12? What just? No way. What just happened? I think my wingman just...
Magic 1, Victor Southwest, engage 225, bandit at 215 for 206, slow, danger, 0, heading north.
Alright, we'll go ahead and throw for... Oh. Alright, and that is mission complete. Look at that. Percentage complete 100%. We got a mission score, total score. We received a bronze star for our actions here. And you can see here it gives us a replay of our flight and all that stuff. All right, boys, that's a wrap for my initial impressions and kind of a brief overview and walkthrough on F-22 Air Dominance Fighter, this retro sim that has been brought back to life for 2026. And I think it has a lot of potential. It's a lot of fun. It's different. And I mean that in all the right ways. So if you're interested in checking it out, I'll link to where you can find it on Steam. Check it out for yourself. And let me know if you want more coverage on this as they continue to develop it. I think it'd be interesting to see where they're going to go with it, how they expand the usage for HOTAS systems with it, and just, you know, overall how it's going to be. Some of the areas I didn't cover in this initial review, if you will, is the multiplayer. And if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. I'll see how that works. I haven't dove into it myself just yet because I'm trying to learn the core functions of the sim itself here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. Callsign Grimey out.